event in so many different ways. Personally, this is my first in-person panel in 3 years, and so hopefully I still remember how to do this. But yeah, it's really good to see you all, like just really excited and eager to reconnect, to tune in, you know, to re-engage. This is such a beautiful time with spring coming as well. And so very much appreciate us all here being in the space. So I'm Carolina Castro. I recently joined Google as a program manager, so I help manage our Google developer communities and Women Techmakers. Women Techmakers is Google's initiative to support women in technology to help us grow, thrive, provide resources and opportunities like this. And so this event is part of a series for International Women's Day, celebrating, of course, us, women. And so we, you know, are continuing to celebrate women. We wanted to put together this event to just carry that moment forward. And I couldn't think of a better space to have a conversation around celebrating women. You know, we're in this space. If you look around, we have Michelle Obama here. So many amazing women. Rosa Parks, Oprah, Beyonce, Cleopatra. You know, it's such an amazing space of trailblazers. Women who have truly redefined their paths, have redefined history for us. And so I am extremely excited to be sitting here with Ingrid and Gabby, women who are trailblazers and have redefined success in so many different ways. I'm really excited for them to share a bit more about their story. And yeah, and really, you know, we're gonna go through this conversation. We're gonna keep it very, you know, in flow.
And intimate.
And intimate, of course. And so, as questions come up, you know, we'll take them at the end. But one thing I did want to say, you know, of course I have my notes, but there's so much to cover. Of course, I want to thank our amazing venue, you know, DDF.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kristen and Ariana, for really helping us coordinate all of this in such a, you know, short
Within 48 hours.
Literally within 48 hours. And, you know, you don't count the weekend. Thank you so much. Really excited to be here. Hopefully this is the first of many opportunities for us to get together in this space. I also want to thank our amazing organizers for the local GDG New York City chapter. So
Anna!
And
Woo!
and Madonna as well. Yeah.
Bravo!
Yeah. And so if you're looking to plug into more events like this, connect with the local developer community, and other like-minded, you know, women and technology, or if you're even interested in moving into the space, definitely talk with them, connect, plug in, and yeah, and stay up to date with all the exciting things we'll have coming up, I'm sure. And I also want to thank just the general DVF staff for just helping us, you know, make sure that this is a successful event. And thank you to your team for helping me select this beautiful dress. That was not easy for me.
You can tell us apart by looking at all the prints. Anyone with green print is likely a DVF team. The best way to thank us is to take a bit of time, look at our collection, give us feedback, try things down. If you want to buy anything, we're having very special exclusive edition sales at 25%, including new collection, which never happens. So definitely try it down after. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gabby. And we also have a special event discount if you want to take advantage of that as well. It's IWD Tech. And so after the talk, feel free to continue browsing and, you know, shop around. Okay, great. And so this year, Google's Women Techmakers theme is progress, not perfection. And so we're celebrating all kinds of progress, right? We're celebrating our small successes, our big successes, and everything in between, and the strength we've demonstrated, especially the past couple of years. You know, we're not letting fear hold us back, and we're looking forward to our dreams. And so with that said, I want to share a quote from Diane von Furstenberg's book, if I can. It's from her book, The Woman I Wanted to Be. And it goes, fear is not an option. Don't dwell on the dark side of things, but look for the light and build around it. If one door closes, look for another one to open. Never ever blame others for what befalls you. No matter how horrible it may be, trust you and only you. And trust yourself to be responsible for your own life. And so, amen to that, or finger snaps. When I saw that quote, I was like, oof, yes, because it really is up to us to show up how we want to show up on our day-to-day in the world, and really truly take our lives, in our hands and redefine our paths. And so today's talk is called Redefining Success, and I'm really excited to dive right in. Shall we?
Let's do this.
Yeah. Are we excited?
Yay! Woo!
Having a small gathering is that we don't have to follow the program. We have actually turned this into a Fireside chat. This is the best way Diane likes to do it. To interrupt us, ask questions, like two-way, like talk to each other, not just like listen to the speech.
I love that. Thank you. Yeah, as things come up, feel free to even chime in, be like, amen, yes. However you want to react and express your enthusiasm, I'm all for it. You want to, stand up and raise a glass, I'm all for that as well. Okay. So to start, if you could each introduce yourselves, tell us a bit about your journey and what led you to the role that you're here today.
Madam?
Okay, my name is Gabby Torada. I'm from Beijing, China. Came here for college, so I'm not even first or second generation. I'm still felt like some kind of foreigner here. I joined there 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago as the head of APAC. And then as a pandemic happened, the company was deciding a different path for the brand. The business partner of Diane of 10 years in China, her name is Jessie. Jessie and I put together a business plan for the board and for Diane so that we have a way to continue DBF, amplify the brand, and guarantee profitability and grow the company. She and her family chose this plan to go forward for the company, which was May 2 years ago. That's when she tasked me to run her company. Has been the most exciting 2 years in my life. I went from being shy, thinking it cannot be me, to now embracing this opportunity and truly feel like, even to put in a kind of a cheesy way, I feel like I'm a flower blossoming to exactly how I imagined what I want to be, the woman I wanted to be when I was 18 years old. So 2 years in, our team, myself, our partner, our team in Beijing, team in London, in New York, we have one goal, which is to support and enable other women, just to help them a little bit more in their journey to become the woman they want to be. If we can get that done every day, we consider our job done. So that's my story.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I could ask you a follow-up to that. And so, we're in this really unique space. I love it because it's the merging of fashion, culture, tech, and everything. So I'm very curious about what was it like, when I look around the fashion space, you are one of the youngest CEOs that also happens to be a woman, that's Chinese. What was it like to be asked to be invited to run one of the largest fashion brands?
Oh, the first thing I said is, are you sure? To Diane, because I didn't think it could be me, even though that's our business plan. So logically speaking, there's no one else. But the first thing I said is, are you sure I'm not white, I'm not very senior, and English not even my first language? And Diane said, because you're none of that, I want you to run the company. So that was a life-changing moment for me to realize, okay, she is so consistent, what the brand stands for and what she believes in. And that life-changing milestone, that's it, it's our meaning. Like, how can we replicate that moment for other people who don't feel like they can be the one? How can we change the mindset? I really felt deeply about it because I've been in the fashion industry in New York for 10 plus years. I didn't think I was not confident, but I realized my brain was conditioned certain way, basically not myself. Older white men, like that's what CEOs look like to me. I did not realize my brain was conditioned like that as well. And same for Diane in 1972, as a woman, a princess actually, who wants financial independence, who wants freedom. Like she must have
Did we all know that?
shattered. She must have shattered a lot of conditioning in her brain to be like, you know what? My story starts with a princess. I want to be free. I want to be independent. I'm gonna make a rock jacket, and I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna be first female entrepreneur. So that spirit, which she wrote about in her book, has to be the value for this brand to exist. In addition to selling beautiful dresses. So that to me is like, okay, that moment, how do we replicate that moment? How do I replicate every day the interaction I and our team get to have with Diane von Furstenberg, where we realize our potential, how to break the barriers, how do we replicate that exposure, that privilege for all the women around the world. So that is how I think about the moment when she tapped me to run her company.
I love that. So redefining like what a leader looks like, what a modern day CEO looks like. I really love that. And so Ingrid, yes, if you could share a bit about your journey, like what led you to where you are today.
So very similar than you. I was not born in America. I had my story started, and I want to share a little bit about my journey because it's very atypical, but I was born and raised in France from a Spanish and Italian family. So my grandparents left Spain walking after the Second World War in order to find a better life for their kids. So they landed across the border. There is a border called the Pyrenees between Spain and France. And this is what I had the pleasure to born and raised in a small town of 500 human beings, more animals than human beings. And it was very interesting as growing up in a very multicultural family, Italian, Spanish, and born in France, where you have to learn at a very young age how difficult it is to be a foreigner, how difficult to learn a new language and to embrace a new culture. My parents were extremely poor, so I also had to face poverty when I was a kid, and I had to go to school with the clothes of my brothers. That's why now I make a point to give back to the community. But definitely, the beginning of my life was challenging, but what I love, and this is the reason why I'm here today with all of you, ladies and gentlemen, is along the way in my path, I had an amazing opportunity to meet exceptional human beings, men and women, who gave me a hand. I was the only kid out of 35 kids in my family to go to college. So it was a responsibility for me, but at the same time, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to talk to. I had no reference, I had no role model. But what I knew what to do, and this is what I want to share with the crew today, is to raise my hand and say, I need help. So I never been shy, and I encourage you to not be shy. When you need help, when you're lost in your road, is to look at someone that give you time, give you advice, to say, give me advice. Because when I was a kid, when I was in college, I have no idea. I started studying literature, art, history of art. And then I love politics and geography and et cetera, et cetera. And then my teacher say, you're very good at math. Why are you going to business school? So this is how I navigate my life, about having great mentor, great sponsor. They look at me with a potential, and I was never shy, but I say, I'm lost, I need help, and I need advice. So this is what I think, most proud of. If I go back 20 years ago, is when I started my career. I graduated from business school. I had a master's degree in entrepreneurship. And IBM came to my school and said, we want to hire you. I said, oh my God, I had to Google, what is IBM? I know, and now I work for Google. But I feel a little bit ashamed. And I also had that shameful because my parents didn't know how to read or write a proper French. And I had to, every time I was in front of something to do and to deliver, I didn't know where to look at. But every time I had an opportunity in my career, I always say, like, why me? And I always had that feeling about, you know, like the imposter syndrome. So now I wanted to share that with all of you because you may have that feeling sometime to be in a place where people give you an opportunity to say, am I sure, am I right, I'm strong, and can I do it? But at a very young age, after college, when I started my career at IBM, I had an amazing mentor around me say, you can do this. You can turn the impossible into possible. You have that in you. You just have to trust in yourself. And this is what I want to share with all of you women, because I've been mentoring women my entire career, and men. And all the men say, I can do this, I can do this, when they don't even have the competencies sometimes. And the women I'm mentoring and say, no, I can't. I have like 90% of the competence, but I cannot do the job. I say, yes, you can. Absolutely. So I just wanted to give you that message, because all in my career I worked for IBM and then Dell and then Microsoft. And for the past 4 years, I had the pleasure, and one of my co-workers is in the room tonight, but to manage an incredible team that it's very diverse, very inclusive, and this has to start with us. So for the past 20 years, I had to build like my career, make a name for myself, because I was just, you know. But now is a time of my life when I want to give back, and this is why I'm spending time with you, and I want to invest in you. I want to invest in this type of events because I have a voice, and I want to be your voice, and I wanted to create a change. And as a woman, I truly believe that if you have a role and responsibility in this society, that you can create a change. You have to bring all the women with you and men with you. It's not about one gender, it's about cultural change. It's about embracing the diversity, and diversity is not only gender. Diversity is all of us in this room. When I look at you, I feel good, I feel happy, because I feel like we represent the world, and we need to have more events like this. And thank you very much for having me today. It's an honor. To be able to be with you, connect with you, and if I can help, I will be extremely happy to do that.
Thank you so much. As you know, I've always been very inspired by your background in so many different ways. As a first gen, I don't know if you can relate being a first gen in this country, or just also being a foreigner in this country too. You know, I have a lot of friends who have also immigrated here as well, and just hearing their stories. One of my best friends is here, who is a model that is from Korea, and we always call Japan. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Take it off now.
Cut.
But you know, it's just such a real struggle, and I can only imagine how compounded it is if you are not from this country. And so, very much appreciate hearing those stories, and that you're willing to give back as well, both of you. And so, Ingrid, I know you also started a nonprofit during the pandemic to take that personal mission of yours even further, to empower and support women entrepreneurs. If you could share a little bit more about that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is a passion of mine. As I mentioned to you about my story, I want to give back. This is my top priority. And because when you receive so much as I did, you say like, oh my God, it's unbelievable. So when you have a voice, when you have an opportunity, you just wanted to absolutely find a way. So I met the founder of a nonprofit called Positive Planet. So Jacques Attali founded Positive Planet 22 years ago. We help 11 million people all around the world to leave poverty through entrepreneurship, helping people to fish, to create their business. We help Africa, Middle East, and Europe was the main focus. When I met Jacques 2 years ago, during the pandemic in May, he told me about this amazing mission to help underserved communities to survive and thrive. So I took that as a sign from, somewhere and say, this is for me. I mean, finally, I have a comfort job at Google, and I can impact because of my role and because of I feel responsible to have, one day if I die, I will say, okay, I've done something that I'm very grateful for and I'm very happy and prideful. So at Positive Planet, we help men and women, but definitely women, to build their own business. And I created partnership with Capgemini, with Genpact, to help them to create their own company and to have a social positive impact in this planet. So all the women and men entrepreneurs we are helping and supporting our positive planet have a social responsibility to create a more positive and more diverse world. So this is what I'm very passionate about. So if you're interested to join us, everyone is volunteer. I'm volunteer. I was the first volunteer 2 years ago. It's 85 volunteers right now with amazing human beings. It's personal adventures, like it's a new family I created in America, and I will love to talk to you more about it. But thank you for your question, because it's something that I love Google, obviously, but Positive Planet is like my personal mission in life.
Do you have any upcoming cohorts?
Yes. So we created the 2 first cohorts with Capgemini and Genpact of minority women, and now I open, because diversity is so important. It's for men, women, any gender. So we are launching right now the 12-week program when we help entrepreneurs to design and to create their own job and their job for their community. And we are focusing on New York, in a very poor area where people like just never went to college or never had the opportunity. Thank God, college in Europe was free for me, but here in America it's very expensive, and not everyone had my luck when I was a kid. So I'm providing money, I'm providing support and education to this amazing human being that just need help and raise their hand. And I go back to that. If you need help, you raise your hand. And there's so many people in this world that want to help you, and they wanted to support you.
Thank you. That's a really important reminder. And so this question might be obvious, but thinking of the theme of redefining success, how do you define success, and in what ways do you still redefine it?
When I work, I meet people personally and professionally. Success is about you, right? I think that along my journey, I defined success differently. When I was at 20, I defined success, I'll be successful at work. And I was 30, I was still like success at work. Now I'm a little bit older. And success for me is the impact, the positive impact I have on the planet, I have on the people, hopefully, like the way we are going to connect tonight. And me, if I can help and support, and you 5 years from now say, Ingrid, because of that event, because of your connection, because of your network, you change positively my life, my job, my impact. This is how I define success. I'm passionate about women in tech, but women in general, and men, because I'm mentoring a lot of young men that didn't have the chance to have support, mentor, or sponsor at the beginning of their career. So this is where that circle of love, of life, of support that is how I define success today.
Thank you, I love that. So Gabby, I know Diane has really owned it in many different ways, right? She's redefined what it means to be a woman in charge. And so I recommend you all check out Diane's books or readings, or even her philosophies around being a woman in charge. It's really powerful. So I'm sure you have conversations about this with Diane, but I'm curious to know, how do you consider yourself being in charge? Like, what does that look like to you?
I think the first thing that came to my mind is what Diane said, which is part related to Own It, the book, which is own your insecurity becomes your asset. And to me, being successful or being at peace with yourself is to embrace exactly who you are, bring your whole being to the table, to the room where you feel like imposter.
Yes.
To overcome that barrier of self-understanding. That to me is truly owning it. And now we say this in our office all the time, own it. If we make a mistake, I made a mistake, own it. If I feel nervous, if I feel I'm facing it, I say it out loud. I introduce the elephant in the room. And by naming it, suddenly you release the biggest enemy to yourself. One of the probably most scary moments for me was the first time to walk into the boardroom for my first board meeting. I never felt that imposter for that moment, mainly because I felt like I was foreigner, I was very young, I still felt like that sometimes inexperienced. And the first thing I said
you release control of the fear, the doubts that could be in some of those thoughts as well. I think, yeah. And so, very curious, kind of diving a little bit more into, you're both innovating in very interesting ways, right? Ingrid is, entrenched into the technology, Google Cloud, and you in the fashion space. So, going deeper into, this world that you're in, now that you are part of building the legacy here at DEF, what are some exciting things that you're looking forward to bring into the space, to continue innovating, to continue pushing the legacy forward?
Yeah, to innovate and to amplify the legacy is almost the same thing, even though they sound contradicting to each other, because legacy is your past, and innovate seems to be about future. But what, Diane, our team, what we talk about every day is that if we don't change, if we don't adapt with the world and our new generations of women, that means the death of the brand. And 75% of the brands that exist nowadays may disappear tomorrow. That is the reality. So for us to change, to reinvent what DVF means, and to innovate with the world present and future is literally what we talk about every day. And for us, it's truly about technology or rather logic. I think we really can say in current practice of DVF, which is start with the design all the way to customer experience and shipping, which we have a lot to improve on. We really use math and logic to lead us in each step of that way. What our customers think and what they want, that becomes the governing voice in us thinking about which print we design, which fabric we choose, which silhouettes. It's no longer about who has the best taste. We don't talk about taste level because that's really kind of limiting and exclusive, and just how can one person, may this person be the creative director, how can one person represent millions of women around the world? How can one person, maybe who comes from very privileged background, represent our woman where we understand she can be our 26 years old who just got her first promotion, save that money to buy a $300 dresses. We're so proud of the price point we're in right now to make beautiful dresses that's flattering, but comfortable, make you feel confident because all eyes look at you, look at print and color at $400, $300 average price point. That is so hard. Our team in China, they fit a style 5 to 6 times. We talk about, okay, if I'm only 5'2", I think 5'2", 5'3". If I'm short, how can each point hit me at the right spot? That I feel like tall, I feel like I have a presence, and I feel like comfortable. I don't feel like I want to take this out really when I get home. All of those little things, you notice, we all think about you, the customer, in mind. And that literally is the deciding factor in this mysterious design process. We ask ourselves, what's the color, what are the prints our woman in March feel like wearing? And that's in that data. So we're on Shopify, we Google shopping is such a big factor in our digital marketing. We look at that data, and that becomes a northern star in telling us from design to buying to user experience, website design, to global business expansion. So that to me is how we innovate. We think about the math and the magic. We find that balance between the two, which is so hard in everything we do, even including like today. We run programming with our team, work so hard here regularly every 2 weeks. It's really started with understanding, oh wait, DVF woman come to DVF not just by a pretty dress. Everyone has a pretty dress. She comes to DVF for that dose of own it, being in charge, feeling that they can be the woman they want to be. Therefore, we know we must turn this space from a store into a destination, a programming where one can continue to feel that way from us. And when you think that for our brand, for DBF.com. We joke that DBF.com should be a destination, DBF destination for visionary female. And that's how hard we think about this. We're all very lucky to be here, right? To talk about how can we maybe live stream this, which we do a couple times here with Diane and Talita. Live stream this to all the people around the world, where not everyone has the time for this type of experience, but for anyone who wants to feel that be the woman they want to be the person they want to be, how can we share all those values, experience, in addition to making Diane making uniform for women in charge, to more things, more content, more experience, where our customers consume that content. So that's kind of how we think about the future, innovation, and the legacy.
I love that. You're doing an incredible job, because this is absolutely my uniform of being a woman in charge right now. And it's also my first DBF purchase, because there's always been an impression and an image of the product, who it's for, the price point and everything. So everything just aligned, with this event, and with me also getting my first dress, because, I see the message and I see the direction that you're taking the company, and it's very inspiring. If I could dig a little deeper, because I'm very curious, because we have a room full of young leaders here, and so I'm sure we work at a lot of legacy companies, or working with older clients and stuff. So at least for myself, there's always that duality of how do you still catalyze and support a legacy company, but also stand your ground in a sense, and really bring your wisdom into the space as a young person who understands the rapidly changing culture, and still bring those ideas to the table. So I would love if you could just share a little bit more of that duality between legacies and also how do you really innovate and merge those two
I think that really has to start and end with the culture of the organization. For me, I feel like any company that makes the young generation or the older generation feel excluded from that room of decision making is a company that cannot survive and win the current present days and future. Any company who makes the talent feel that they cannot partake in making decisions to make the company a better place, I feel like the best advice for people is then you should leave that company. That company does not deserve your talent. I feel like one must genuinely feel that way in order to welcome people of different background, different age, different like race or cultural understanding. Like definitely for us at DBF, I'm so amazed by our employees, our teams. Some of them very young, in their early 20s, some are much senior. And the assumption is that we're all, it sounds so cheesy, I'm sorry, but it sounds like we're all born equal. I so believe in that, and I found our industry, fashion industry, is pretty bad at believing that everyone's born equal. It's because it's an industry about privilege, about class. I think a lot about that type of thing, power. I love your background, your story. And I often felt like the world is so much better right now because children from unfashionable and chic and wealthy backgrounds can have a success in our industry, can start your own brand if you have something to say. So that's a good change. Back to our everyday, everyone is equal to each other, regardless of your title, regardless of how many years of experience you have in the industry. Because guess what? What one knows 5 years ago, you may be a senior vice president of your department. Whatever one knows 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, doesn't apply today.
Absolutely.
There are new technologies, new apps, new Shopify solutions, new digital marketing, new way of benchmark doing things every single day. How do we almost undo the prior experience and adapt to how customers' behaviors are right now? That exactly tells me the talents and value of my 21 years old employees. More valuable than some of we're all born equal, and how can we all work together to make our beloved brand, Diane von Furstenberg, the best company in this world. Again, best company for our customers, for our owners, their family, and what a privilege to still be owned by the family themselves, where we're reminded, okay, our priority is more than just making money, but also continuing Diane's legacy, but how to make DBF the best company for also our employees. That is how we find that balance between legacy and innovation every day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for going a bit deeper on that. I was very curious. And Ingrid, I'm sure you see so many women in your accelerator, right? Just trying to figure out how to
Finding new idea. First of all, I want to say something. Google Cloud should hire you as a CEO of retail. You captivate me. I mean, everything you said is just like, I would have not said a better way. About, you know, where we are today, about the innovation and how we are helping you. But you are visionary, and we are just like really the foundation and the organization that understand data, how to manage data, how to break silos, how to have a 360 view of a customer, how to have that, you know, understanding and providing you as a CEO a better understanding of your data, insights to do and to make real-time decisions in order to activate and to be more socially responsible, ecologically responsible, to look at, you know, your stock and all around the world and innovation just to support your idea. So I'm very proud and very happy to get to know you today, to listen your story and your journey, because at Google Cloud, this is what we want to do. We wanted to listen customer, enable customer, put customer at the center of everything, to help your own customer to meet where they are. It's not about like 20 years ago or 10 years ago, 5 years ago, we produce that, you buy it. Now, customers are extremely sophisticated. They know what they want. They want green, they want healthy, they want social, and it's good. So retailer and brand like you respect the nature, respect the world, and company like ours is here to support your journey. And we always put, like, when we talk to CEOs like you, it's about, we're here to hear how we can help you to solve business problem and respond better to the consumers, to meet the consumer where they are and not impose to the customer what they need to buy. So by breaking the silos, by, you know, understanding the data, putting on top of the data artificial intelligence, machine learning, we provide you as a leader insights that you never had before, because it is in a second where you can make a business decision that is going to influence your brand, is going to influence your consumer, and is going to create a loyalty for your consumer that are very different. 3 years ago, consumer had different needs than the one they had today. But for us, it's just to support your journey and to make sure you understand what they want on a real time. Omni-channel, we break independently of the devices they are in and connecting with. We want you to bring you that knowledge that is going to design a new clothes, a new color, a new trend in a week, where in the past it used to be like taking months and like many, many months to reinvent yourself. And during the pandemic was obvious. Like all the customer, all the retailer came to Google and say, we need help, and we work with CEOs to reinvent themselves, to help them to differentiate themselves and to survive. You must have seen that in the world, like so many brands disappear. The brand we used to buy every day, billions-dollar brand. A company like you, very humble and listening with like that social listening aspect and trying to reinvent yourself in a very unique way. Now you're thriving again and you're reinventing yourself, and we are buying your dress today. I'm very proud to, I wore a blue dress. I never wore a blue dress in my entire life, but I will put more color thanks to you, because I feel, why not? This fits me. And I tried before I joined, and I said, I like it. This is Ingrid. It's Ingrid 2022. So I'm also reinventing myself.
You're owning it. You are.
Absolutely. So next time you see me, I won't wear black and white. I will wear color, madam.
People who say go on our Instagram, you go on our website, you will see really different women of all age, all race, all body type. I think it's cheap to make beautiful clothes, beautiful. Your good friend, who's a model here.
You can't wear anything.
It's not cheap to make a clothes look good on a very different body type.
Yes, I agree.
Different height, different body proportion. That to me suddenly is like, okay, that is the reason why we want to make another dress when the world may not need another dress. And how do we put that on that different woman and show that proudly on our marketing, our social media, our website. That's not easy, and that is meaningful.
Well, if you need any help with models.
We have a model here.
So talk about, yeah, we don't even think about the marketing. So we have this hashtag BBF Woman initiative where she's not a model, she's the woman we find inspiring, who change the world. Maybe in a small way actually, not a big way, who is not well known, who is in daily grinding of doing something meaningful for her community, not even her world. We use her spotlight, we put her in BBF clothes. She may be a little owner of a small bodega in Brooklyn, but we feature her because she changed her community. We put her in BBF clothes, in the lighting, in the BBF world, and then we broadcast her to the whole world. I mean, we're probably not the most famous brand. A lot of people don't know what BBF is, which I always find that welcoming. Like, let me introduce BBF to you. But with just a little power we have, the brand awareness we have, we feature her and we give her all the spotlight of the month. And that to us, the BBF Woman Initiative is, and our customers and our audience tell us how much they love it. They love it because we see this ton of data, the engagement of certain posts on our socials, on our website, on our emails. We know, I see, we should keep doing this because that's a meaningful thing to do.
Absolutely, it's so exciting. I feel like we could dig in even deeper, but I really want to get to the questions. But if you could both share some closing thoughts with the audience, if there's anything you would want to share before we get to the questions.
I start? Okay. So one thing, and again, I will say more confident. I realized the only barriers I had in my life are the one I put in myself in front of myself. So I needed to have these amazing coaches, amazing sponsors, amazing men and women that push me outside of my comfort zone. So they're like, you can do this. And it took me 10 years. And before I moved to a leadership position, to one of the largest companies in the world, Microsoft, and now at Google, say, I can do this. So the only thing I want you to tell you and want you to leave the room is say, if you wanted to go to the next level in your career, if you want to access to your next job, you say, I can do this. And I believe I can achieve and make the impossible possible. And surround yourself with great people that they are going to boost your ego, they are going to believe in you, because I need that. Even myself every day, even to come here, I need someone to give me okay, you can do this. Because I'm always, people say, oh my God, you look so confident. Absolutely not. I work I had 2 weeks, I had to reflect, I had to take a vitamin this morning, because it's not easy. I'm a foreigner, English is my 5th language. I speak 5 languages, and I learned English very late. So I always when I'm a public speaking engagement, I'm my God, I'm going to speak in front of people. Are they going to understand me? Is my accent okay? So all these things, but I say, no, I think people can understand me. I have people around me say, what are you talking about? So you need that person. So find that person in your life, your mama, your cousin, your best friend, anyone that is going to tell you, you can do this. That's why I'm here today, because I have people around me that give me that energy. They invite me to speak, because they say, yeah, you're going to share something that people are going to remember, or you're going to help people. And so I push myself. It's not I would stay at home every night. But I do this because I want it for you. I do it for you because there's so many people that help me in my life that I want to say, okay, you can do that. So do it. So I give that to you tonight, and tomorrow give that to someone else. This is my best gift. So I hope you will live with that.
So I just wanted to contribute as well and just share some nuggets of wisdom from my journey. If there's anything I could say is meditate. What I really mean by that is to really embrace the moments of silence, of stillness, tune in, right? Continue tuning in to what feels right to you. What do you value? What are your beliefs? What do you envision for your life, right? As you redefine success, redefine everything around you. Every single thing. From what you eat, to what you do. Just really kind of do a deep dive into your life and really encourage you all to go on that journey, that intuitive, internal journey, to then come out on the other side, right? To know, what does that tribe look like for you then? What are those women that you need in your life, right? Because you need that boost. And it starts from within as well.
Thank you.
It is hard to meditate. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. But
I mean, you'll find good ones on YouTube.
you go back and forth on
Yeah, and I download all of them. I mean, I'm sure you'll find it crazy, and I'm sorry, I'm not a speaker, but I'm just giving advice.
Yes, you are.
Okay, all right. Well, I have YouTube Premium. I can download all the videos so I can watch them offline or listen to them offline. In the subways, we don't have connection. So when I have some time on the train, I do meditate.
Meditation hacks. If you need any of them afterwards, definitely speak to us about it.
I mean, when you have nothing to do on the train and you're sitting down, it's a good time to meditate.
I love it.
Wow. How about you, Danny? What would you like to share?
I think the closing thoughts I have is right now, how nice this is. Today's Monday, which is a very difficult day. What's that, Monday blue or Sunday blue, where you feel you have a lot going on?
Sunday. I
Sunday
don't,
blue, right?
I don't like.
How privileged and how nice it is to take a break on a Monday to just like gather like this and to just talk about what is meaningful, your childhood, your past, reflect on your present and future, and how nice and important it is for us to take a little break from your busy day and gather like this to support each other. I think Diane had a quote, when you build a community, you build power. And this small gathering we have here today, the community of female empowerment, women in tech, people in tech in general, how crucial it is for our survival, our living, to take a break and to see each other in person, to talk to each other like human beings. So I think my closing thought is I'm reminded, and thanks to our amazing team who made this happen, to keep doing this because this is crucial for our living.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ingrid. Thank you so much, Gabby. Thank you, everyone, as well, for being here, sharing this space with us. And so we're going to fully open it up. If anyone has any questions, comments, even if you want to share anything with everyone else, this is a very open space. It's a community that hopefully you can make some connections here as well afterwards. And I'll definitely be talking to each and every one of you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing such inspirational thoughts and your journey. They're exceptionally emotional, and especially post-pandemic. Thank you so much. But I did want to ask you a question. Google talks a lot about your googliness, and I've always been intrigued by what is that element of googliness that makes it more fun. Because I'm a breed from the 80s, and music to me is all about funk and having fun. So I'd like to ask all three of you, what does that mean to you, and what is it about you that makes life fun?
Such a good question.
You want to start?
So means a person who's in touch with themselves, right? Self-aware, a great communicator. These are also things that I really value as well. Someone who could really just bring people together, right? Use positive words, positive messaging. We're all trying our best. And so really seeing everyone, your coworkers, your collaborators and partners as part of this ecosystem that's really trying their best to accomplish things, to get work done. And so, funny thing, I interviewed for this role 2 years ago, and I was just like, what is Googling this? Oh my god. Because I'm all about fun. If it's not fun, it's not for me. And so that's something that I realized that I don't need anyone to agree to my type of fun. I'm fun, I am who I am, I am authentic, and it just so happened to align with what Google was looking for at the time, thankfully. And so to me, it's been a good combination of that. But I would say Googliness is a sense of respect for others, understanding that we're all trying our best, collaborative, and just always open and willing to learn and teach others as well.
Perfect.
Did I get the job again?
Oh my God, yeah, I hire you again. No, it's wonderful, and what you say is perfect, because I think is putting the employee with their diversity at the center of everything, and is a respect for the user, it's a respect for the employee, and it's really definitely loving the diversity of ideas, culture, religion. Everyone at Google is coming with their whole self. Like, no matter where they're coming from all around the world, like, and they're like, this is what creates the uniqueness of Google, because customers love us, because for me, diversity, equity, inclusion bring innovation. And innovation is why Google is recognized, because we are reinventing the world, we are supporting the world to be a better place to live. And Googliness is supporting that. So every employee is coming with a lot of respect, and we have ethic, and leading by example is something that I'm measured on as a leader. My employees are measured on to respect everyone in a room, and someone is not acting the right way, we need to call them out. And it's good for it, because we wanted to create an inclusive environment where everyone has a voice. It's a unique company. I work for an amazing company like IBM, Dell, Microsoft, but Google is going to the next level, where you feel like you really have a voice. I left France and Europe for that matter, because I didn't feel like I could be my whole self. So I moved to America. But moving from Microsoft to Google, I say, wow, this is it. I don't want to leave. I'm in love. I'm going to sign and going to wedding with Google forever. But yeah, it's pretty beautiful. But thank you for your question, because I think people are always asking, why Google? And it's because it's just you feel part of the family. And family, for me, means a lot. My family is in Europe. So when I'm in America, I feel like I have another family. Like, I have two of my amazing ladies in the audience. Like, they are my new family, and they are working with me. I work for them. And I hire them, but I feel like my work is to make them shine as women in this amazing organization, and I love their support. And there is another word that you haven't used, but I know is empathy. And that word is like, I understood that word since I started working at Google, because it's meeting people where they are, and also having them meeting where you are, with my difference of culture, of my background, and I have a lot of respect for that company and for the people who work for that company, because I feel for the first time in my entire career, after 20 years in tech, to feel extremely respected. And people embrace my difference, which is something I think is gold and a diamond in this ocean. Sorry, it's a long answer, but I am passionate about Google. Thank you for your question.
So, are there any similar qualities at DVS?
Oh my gosh, say more. I want to join Google. We're getting competitive. How about you guys? Diane has another saying that she was like, oh, we can't say more because it's not politically correct. She has a saying of live a man's life in a woman's
Yes.
On LinkedIn and DVF.com, but amazing you like this good question makes me think about what is the DVF-ness.
Deviousness. I love it. New concept.
But I think it's a good question because it's really about culture, right? Like company is just an organization, but really it's this very personalization, the personal, the intimate element about being a company or how a company behaves, and that's the individuals and the culture, and it's often about how we treat each other inside the company and how we treat people outside the company. It's so important and such a good world we live in right now because transparency, having a good culture is so key for any companies. So it's very good.
Thank you.
Another question. Anna, did you want to ask?
Yes, first of all, I wanted to thank everyone for coming today. I think it's time well spent. And let's take a moment to think about what progress, not perfection means. I already shared that we're talking something about not being perfect, but this is the perfect space for there is not an option. And Gabby, thank you so much for being our gracious host. Since we are in tech, I believe you run on Shopify. Shopify runs on Google, so you already have.
And Google doing an amazing job in terms of digital marketing. How much more I can think to not hurt our other partner.
It's okay.
We find ourselves really spending more investment and energy on Google because Google Shopping is such an amazing bright star in terms of how people shop nowadays. Our team, our digital marketing, our e-com team, really investing quite a lot in Google because that's how talking about meeting customer where they are. If she type in wedding dress and there's like 100 brands show up in Google Shopping. To me, I love a competition. I'm competitive. What an exciting arena. We need to work so hard. So in the Google Shopping, we can see every single brand, every single platform. How can we stand out compared to other 100 brands in either what we design or in the product detail page where we have customer reviews. It's Google Shopping made the whole fashion industry, I think, as transparent, as exciting, as you have to deliver your value proposition to your customers as possible. So we love Google at DVF.
Thank you. We would like to go on the other side so we can meet everyone and mingle. Yeah, so we can.
Clothes, don't have to buy at all. Love to see it on the body because we are a team here to get feedback. Thank you so much for coming to our
Thank you for coming.
Before everyone heads out, who wants to take some photos in this room?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe take a group photo. People want to be a part of that.
Yeah.